just like that, just like that. Forever's never gone so fast.
Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing today? It is a really nice evening. Look at this lighting. It's especially nice because it's now spring and we get like the gorgeous colors in the trees. It truly is a wonderful time of year. And for more than one reason, because there was an Apple event. And of course, if you've been keeping up with it, then you may have seen that Apple finally actually did confirm the iPhone SE2. Lots of people thought it was going to be called the SE2 or the iPhone 9. Turns out the official name was the SE 2020. And originally, I wasn't actually going to say anything about this phone until I actually got my hands on one. Seeing as so many of you have requested that I talk about it, I think it's for the most part incredible. Alright, so, you know what? I think we could make this background a little bit more cinematic. Hold on. Alright, that looks at least 5 times more cinematic. So, if you haven't already seen the new iPhone SE, it's a $399 iPhone. I'm pretty sure on the website it's now actually replaced the iPhone 8, which up until this point was the cheapest new iPhone you could buy from Apple. And honestly, already, it looks pretty solid. Let's take a look at these specs. So, of course, it has that A13 Bionic processor. That processor is awesome. If you've seen my iPhone 11 review, if not, it's up there. But if you already have seen my iPhone 11 review, I've talked about why I love this processor. It's got some really cool features. Hopefully, a lot of those will translate well over to the iPhone SE. Let's take a look at these specs. I'm pretty sure it's also going to have 4GB of RAM. To my understanding, it's pretty much exactly the same internals as the 11 and the 11 Pro, but it has taken some cuts. For example, it's gone back to Touch ID rather than using Face ID. I personally do really like Touch ID, but yeah, given the choice, I personally still go with Face ID. It's also taken it down from IP68, like we saw on the 11 and the 11 Pro, back to that IP67 rating, which I personally have no problem with. My personal phone is IP67. I've never had a problem with it. And yeah, so not too concerned about that. It does only have that one camera, but that A13 Bionic processor brought along a ton of new features, a lot of which were to do with the camera. And so yeah, specs to price, the iPhone SE looks incredible. I'm gonna go move that light while I'm waiting for my notes to load up. I balanced the light on the display camera I have back there. So, as I said on Twitter, I like pretty much everything about this phone. The first thing I like about this phone is, of course, that price point. For a 2020 release from Apple, this is a phenomenally way of getting a new iPhone, and I gotta say, that's pretty cool. Another thing I like about this phone, as we covered before, were the specs. Honestly, the fact that Apple put an A13 Bionic processor in a $399 phone, ridiculous. I am very much looking forward to seeing how those specs translate into performance. Another thing I like is, of course, that return to Touch ID. As I said before, there's just something about Touch ID. Another thing I like about this phone is, of course, the build. With iPhones, it's pretty much guaranteed that you're gonna get a really solid build, and I'm glad to see that it doesn't look like they've cheaped out on the SE here. Now, in terms of specs, the screen is debatable. A lot of people wanted a higher resolution screen. Honestly, I don't want to say too much about the screen until I've actually used it, because as I've said before, I was way more impressed with the iPhone 11 screen than I thought it was gonna be. So hopefully it'll look really good. Another thing I'm looking forward to with the SE is that camera. As I said before, the A13 Bionic processor totally changed the camera on the iPhone 11. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. However, speaking of the camera, I can't help but want night mode on this thing. Honestly, I know I can do without it, but after using the 11, the night mode on that thing is truly incredible. Well, like with my iPhone 10, neural cam is always an option. Hopefully that'll work well, actually. That'll be interesting to see. I also, and I know this sounds weird, but I kind of wish there were more color options. As of now, they offer black, white, and red. And the only time in recent history where the color range has been this limited is, of course, with the iPhone 10, which only actually had 2 color options. Of course, not a deal breaker at all, but it's weird because I kind of expected to see some like funky color options. I mean, with the iPhone 11 Pro, we had midnight green, and of course, with the iPhone 11, we had a ton of cool colors. And so while this certainly isn't a deal breaker, I would have personally liked to see some other options. Okay, so this is what I was actually trying to go for with the background. We got my old broken camera there. This is the light that I was talking about. See, I was trying to use this LED panel to make this plant glow. Honestly, I think it looked alright. Oh, and because I was so close to the wall, I had to literally just point this light directly at the wall. Big shout out to Matt Diavella for showing that trick in one of his videos. Seriously, super helpful. What? I've been using this pop socket for like the last week or so now, trying to learn not to drop my phone. Gotta say, so far, it's worked. Okay, so I know this has been a short video. I did initially want to do something else at the end. Now, I was expecting a package today, which would have been awesome. Hasn't arrived yet, so I guess we're gonna have to do it at the start of the next video. I've said pretty much everything I can say without actually trying the phone myself. Hopefully soon I will be able to try it. I did go to pre-order it, but when I saw it wouldn't arrive for like 4 days after the phone was released, decided to look elsewhere, and I think I found one. As of now though, thank you for watching. Remember to like the video. If you want to see more content like this, then smash that subscribe button. I'm done for now, and I will see you guys in the next one.